Be the change you want to see. Bourbon with Heart is doing that at Fraser History Museum. We've got one of the barrels with us today, along with Morgan Hancock, who is here. She's the founder of Bourbon with Heart. We're going to find out about this wonderful exhibit, Fraser History Museum. I have seen the barrels all over Facebook, so let's get started. What does this mean? What are you doing, Morgan?
So we actually just launched this organization last summer.
Yes, you talked to us.
Yes, you were one of our first stops.
Yeah.
We announced the Artist Call.
Yes.
So the Artist Call actually launched in October.
How'd they go?
It ran for 2 weeks. We had well over 150 submissions.
Did you expect that?
No. No, I thought, I might be struggling to find
20 artists. Please, come on, 20 artists.
I've got to have them, pretty quickly, but no, instead it was the opposite problem of how do I only pick 20? And I've still got them flooding in. When you do the next thing, I want to participate in this. So, we did pick 20, and it was important to us when we picked the artists that they're not only talented, which they're all insanely talented, you've seen the barrels, but we wanted them to all be very different. So we really got artists from all different walks of life as part of this exhibit.
So talk about the exhibit. It's called Barrels of Heart. Mm-hmm. Lots of different local artists. Why Barrels of Heart? Explain the exhibit.
So Bourbon with Heart is the name of the organization, and it's an arts-focused organization. We raise funds for other local charities, as well as just bring awareness, educate people, provide access, and provide platforms for artists of Kentucky. And so Barrels of Heart just made sense. When you see the story behind all these barrels, that's what they are. This is a barrel full of heart, of the community, of the artist. So Barrels of Heart.
All right, you brought one of the barrels with you. I know the artist. He has been on the show before, and he has a story. Tell us who did this barrel.
So this was painted by Chamil Ford. He was one of our 20 artists. If you've met him before,
I have met his family, so hello to all of them.
Yes, you just can't help but smile when you're around him. And he says that art is what makes him happy. He does have autism, but as his mother, who's a great advocate of him, always says, he's not defined by that, he's defined by his art. And this is a way he's learned to really communicate and express himself to the world. So the story with this barrel, I really wanted to bring this one on for a few reasons. Whenever he was given this task, none of these artists have painted a bourbon barrel before.
Right.
And it's much different than
I was going to say, I wonder how difficult it is, because it's the texture of the wood. It's curved all the way around, so your surface is not flat at all.
Right. Yes. So when he started, his mother had contacted me several weeks into the process, and I noticed that all the artists had kind of been sending me sneak pics, and then I hadn't seen anything from him, and I thought that was kind of strange. And she ended up explaining that it was getting down to the wire, and that he was just really kind of struggling. He was stuck. She said that his whole personality, he wasn't hardly talking. She could just tell something's not right. And she would say, "How are you doing?" He'd say, I'm fine. But he just wasn't getting anywhere with it. And so she sat him down less than 2 weeks before these had to be finished. And she said, we need to talk. If we need to talk to her, if we need to say, this isn't going to work,
then that's fine.
We need to do that. But she said, so what's the deal? Just do what makes you happy. Painting makes you happy. So he said, okay, so he started over. He repainted the whole thing.
Oh, wow.
To start with a blank canvas with less than 2 weeks that has to be done. And he just painted what made him happy. And that is these iconic symbols of Kentucky and iconic people such as Dawne.
Well, I was tickled when I got a little picture and it told me to look at this. I almost started crying. I love Chamil very much. His family, his mama, always so sweet. And I went, oh my goodness. And I was just tickled. and I'm so honored. And I see Abraham Lincoln on there.
And Ed Hamilton is over
Ed
there.
Hamilton, who I was with the other night, I love him very much. Is that Isaac Murphy?
Yes,
on there?
So he was an African American jockey who won the Kentucky Derby, Oaks, and what was it called? I have the Clark Handicap.
Yes.
All in 1 year. The youngest jockey to ever win the Kentucky Derby is on here, and then the jockey who won the first ever Kentucky Derby, and then also Johnny Depp, Loretta Lynn,
Twin Towers on here,
yes.
LA, because that's our Kentucky drink. I was with Loretta Lynn when I had a chance to run with the Olympic torch. Loretta Lynn and I were on the same bus. She was a little video thing.
And now you're on the same barrel.
And now we're on the same barrel. I wish she was still here to see.
But his mother said that once he started, when he switched course and he started painting
what was in his heart.
What was in his heart, that it was like a light just came on, and that, I mean, he did this in less than 2 weeks. I mean, that's incredibly talented, and you're one of those people, but not only he considers the best of Kentucky, but most all of us do.
I love him dearly, Shamil. We appreciate you. You see, oh my goodness, look at some of the art there. Bourbonwithheart.org. Oh my, some of the pictures there. Who did the Fruit Loops picture? Did you?
That's Chamel also. He can even bring a cereal box to
Look
life.
at that.
Like
I love it. He can. He can, really. Bourbonwithheart.org. Go there. All of this is going to be at Fraser History Museum. When and how can folks come and support what you do?
So the exhibit launches February 1st. We had an opening night. The tickets sold out within hours.
You're sold out.
Yeah, well, no, the first night. The opening
night.
But it'll be open for 2 months at Fraser, so it's an exhibit at the museum. But before we wrap up, I have to tell you, so each barrel has a sponsor. That's how we raise the funds.
Yes.
This barrel was sponsored by International Floor Coverings of Metro Louisville. Brittany Miles is the sponsor, the owner.
Thank you, Brittany, very much.
But she would like you to have this barrel at the end of the exhibit. So it'll be at Fraser for 2 months, but then it's yours. And I know when we were here the first time, you said, I always wanted a painted bourbon barrel, and we heard that. And so you can thank Brittany Miles of Floor Covering International, Metro Louisville, and obviously Chamil for this time. Well, you definitely deserve it. You're the best again.
Wasn't expecting that. Was not expecting that. Thank you, Brittany, very much more than you can imagine. And to Shamil, you know I love you and your family. That's fabulous. Well, I appreciate you. One more time, how can they come and see the bourbon barrels?
It'll be at Fraser Museum from February 1st to April 1st, and you can always find out more about us. It's just bourbonwithheart.org. We've got a lot more coming up.
Yep, yeah. I know you do. All right, we'll have you back on. You threw me that. I need a tissue. Thank you very much, Morgan. We appreciate you. Okay, coming up, the